Lewis Hamilton produced a stunning final qualifying lap to snatch pole position from Max Verstappen at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Hamilton produced a 1:16.609 with his final effort to claim pole by just 0.003 seconds after Verstappen had been unable to improve on his initial time. It gave Hamilton a record 9th pole at the Hungarian Grand Prix and his first since the 2021 Saudi GP, 33 races again. Hamilton's former title rival Verstappen will line up second, having been deemed a 6th consecutive pole by the barest of margins. It's been a crazy year and a half. I've lost my voice from shouting so much in the car, Hamilton said. It's an amazing feeling. I'm so grateful to be up there because the team have worked so hard and we've been pushing for so long to go this pole. It feels like the first time the Brits stated. Lando Norris will start third on Sunday and was just 0.085 seconds off Hamilton's pole time, with teammate Oscar Piastri alongside him as McLaren locked out the second row to continue their time form. While Hamilton was lined up P1, his Mercedes teammate George Russell last year's pole sitter starts 18th after being a bigger aim exit at the beginning of Q1. Carlos Sainz had lined up alongside Russell in the front row last year, but the Ferrari driver will start 11th, missing out on Q3 by 0.002. Sainz was knocked out by teammate Charles Leclerc, who starts 6th behind the two Alfa Romeos, who impressed, with Zhou 5th, Bottas 7th. Sergio Perez ended up his run of missing out on Q3, but was unable to be in contention for the pole with the start 9th behind Fernando Alonso and ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. Daniel Ricciardo will start 13th on his return to F1, having been out-qualified in Yuki Tsunoda, who exited in Q1 and will start 17th. But yeah, Hamilton's 9th pole position at the Hungarian ring is the most by any F1 driver at a single track. The Brit had appeared a contender for path topping FP3, but was in danger of making Q1 exits. He found himself in the drop zone with just a few minutes left, but after escaping a drop and easing through Q2, he came alive on the soft tyre. Verstappen appeared on course to continue his streak of poles as he led Q3 after the first runs, but Hamilton was a 10th off, but the Red Bull driver could not improve and fell first in the last sectors, which opened the doors to lay behind. Norris was unable to beat Verstappen's time, but Hamilton set personal best throughout the lap and ended up on the Red Bull by the end of the second sector, which gave him enough to hold on and claim a 104th pole. Get in there, let's go boys, Hamilton shouted over the team radio as he crossed the line, aiming 8 wins at the Hungarian in an F1 career, and also set the record for the most poles at a single circuit. And yeah, he said, I have to see if I can sleep tonight. Tomorrow we will study hard and bring our rain game. It was difficult to fight these guys. Lando has been doing a mega job. It's been great to see McLaren up there, and Max, Max is always up there doing his thing, he said. But yeah, Verstappen missing out on pole was, despite Red Bull bringing an extensive upgrade to the RB19, while also he feels the upgrades working. The Dutchman thinks they've been off their usual high standards. We're still second, but I think we should be ahead with the car we have normally so far this weekend, but it hasn't been. I really think the update works, but we just didn't really get everything right setup wise, because I think everything has been all over the shop and not exactly where we wanted it to be. Norris was left rowing mistakes he felt, which cost him a shot on pole. I'm disappointed when you're a 10th on pole. It feels like you should be on pole and you put the lap together. The current driver said, as a driver I'm not the happiest. I feel I made too many mistakes and that kind of cost me pole today, he said. The qualifying sessions saw F1's alternate tyre allocation format trial for the first time, which left drivers restricted to the hard tyre in Q1, medium Q2 and soft Q3. This resulted in a frantic opening 2 parts of qualifying as drivers circulated multiple times as the track ramped up. In the closing stage of Q1, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris and Russell all found themselves in danger at various points, but it was last year's pole sitter Russell who made the early exit. The Mercedes driver found himself in traffic jam, his position not helped by Norris overtaking him into the final corner of the preparation lap as Russell looked to build a gap to teammate Hamilton. A poor sector 1 proved costly for Russell as he recorded his worst ever qualifying result at Hungary, and his exit prompted by Toto Wolff slamming the desk. The whole session we were out of sync with everyone. Russell said, I got overtaken by 4 cars going into the last corner before my starting lap. I was 3 tenths down before I got to turn 1. My tyres were nowhere and it was totally normal that we were slower and didn't make it through. Really disappointed. We didn't need to take so many risks. We went out for 1 lap in the end, and so did a few other cars. And his fellow front row starter last year, Sainz, was a big casualty as the second part of qualifying as he lost out to compatriot Alonso by just 2 1,000ths of a second. It was Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc who knocked Sainz out. The Monegasque jumped from P13 to P6 with his last gas effort. The big story coming into the weekend has been Daniel Ricciardo's return to AlphaTauri in place of Nick De Vries, and the Australian immediately performed to out-qualify Tsunoda and deliver the team to the bottom of the Constructors' Championship, their best qualifying result since May's Monaco Grand Prix. Ricciardo twice improved and beat the Dayton in the drop zone, beating Tsunoda by 0.013 to get into the segment and then finish ahead of an Aston Martin, Lance Stroll and Alpine's Gasly. The result is not everything, but it was just so important for me to come back feeling comfortable, just getting the enjoyment back. I felt that last week in the test it was a bit of a relief. It just felt fun again. That's what I was looking for. It was cool. There's probably more for me to learn and process tomorrow. Points will be phenomenal, but now I'm just focused on logging that. But yeah, before I go, let me run you through the grid for tomorrow. Lewis Hamilton and Powell. It's been so long since I said that word, and to be honest, so happy seeing back a monster lap there. And yeah, hopefully he can race Max tomorrow. I'm not convinced he can, but just imagine if he could. What a performance from Lewis. And then you've got Max in second. Yeah, still only 0.003 off, so it wasn't a disaster at all. And yeah, still probably favourites tomorrow, but will be frustrating to miss out on pole, especially to the arch enemy. Norris Piastri fourth, and I think that's just showing McLaren this upgrade. They weren't convinced whether it be as effective on this track, but this shows it absolutely is. And yeah, the positives from McLaren are just so big as well. Alfa Romeo, where on earth do they come from? 5th and 7th, so I'm really excited to see what they can do tomorrow. That's going to be very interesting to see if they can pick up some crucial points. Then you've got Leclerc in 6th and Sainz 11th. Really disappointing. Ferrari just didn't have the pace this weekend on a track that last year they were coming in here considered the favourites. Kind of a similar story for Aston Martin, 8th and 14th, really poor. From them, I thought, yeah, Alonso would be right in the mix this weekend, but it wasn't to be. And then you got Perez 9th, Hulkenberg 10th. Yeah, Perez, I made into Q3 at least, but really poor from him. He should be much closer to Verstappen. He's got a lot of work again tomorrow. Hulkenberg in 10th, solid performance from the Hulk. You have to say, really, really good. How he keeps driving that car into Q3 is really impressive, especially with Magnussen all the way down in 19th. And yeah, he's proving he's got the pace, but Magnussen just isn't showing it at the moment. You got Ocon 12th, Gasly 15th, kind of just where Alpine are really at the moment. It's just so disappointing, so far off. And yeah, it sounded like Ocon really maximising that too. Ricardo 13th, ahead of Tsunoda in 17th. That's a really solid job from him. He'll be really, really pleased with that. And yeah, definitely shows some promise for his kind of return. And then you've got Albon 17th, Sargent 20th. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of where we expected Williams to be on this track. And Russell kind of just getting unlucky with the traffic. Would have been really intrigued to see where he could be and if he completed his lap. But anyway, guys, that's it really. Thanks very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Next thoughts, comments, over daily F1 is and subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.